Hello students, today we are going to see the kinematics lesson and the session 6, and this is going to be the last session of this kinematics series, and today we are going to see the degrees and radian, angular displacement and centripetal acceleration. Let's see what do you mean by the degrees and radian. See, I have shown you one picture which denotes the range. In measuring the angles, there are several possible units used, but the most common units are degrees and radians. Radians are used in measuring area, volume, circumference of the circle and surface area of spheres. Now let me introduce what do you mean by the radian. Radian is defined as the length of the arc, okay, divided by the radius of the arc. Length of the arc divided by the radius of the arc. 1 radian is the angle subtended at the center of the circle by an arc that is equal in length to the radius of the circle. So theta is equal to 1 radian. And what do you mean by degree? Degree is the, here this is the degree, is the unit of measurement which is used to determine the size of the angle. When an angle goes all the way around the circle, if it moves like this, then the total angle covered is equivalent to 360 degree. If it moves along the circle, the total angle covered is 360 degree. In terms of radians, the full circle has 2 pi radian. So the half the circle have pi radian. So 1 radian is equal to 180 degree divided by pi degrees, which means 1 radian is equal to 57.295 degree. Let's see, we saw the radian and degree. So using that radian and degree, let's see the angular displacement. Consider a particle covered which is revolving around the point O in a circle of radius r. This is the circle of radius. Let the position of the particle at time t is equal to 0 be A, and after time t its position is at B. The angle described by the particle about the axis of rotation or the center in a given time is called angular displacement. The angle, this is the angle by the described by the particle while it's moving about the axis of rotation. Okay, this is the axis of rotation or center O in a given time is called angular displacement. That is, angular displacement is equal to angle AOB and which is equal to theta. Angle AOB which is equal to theta. The angular displacement theta in radian is related to arc length SAB or radius r, and which is as the unit of angular displacement is radian. Theta is equal to, the theta is equal to S by R. Here S referred as the displacement from this position A to B with respect to the radius. So if you take the displacement, if you want to find out what's the displacement by the particle when it moves around the circle, we have to find the angle and you have to divide the angle by the radius of the circle. If you divide the angle by the radius of the circle, then you can get the displacement. That means the angular displacement of a particle. Let's see what's the angular velocity, which is omega. This is referred as omega. The rate of change of angular displacement is called angular velocity. The unit of angular velocity is radian per second, rads minus 1. Here the angular velocity is referred with the word omega. Omega is equal to limit del t to 0 and del theta divided by del t is equal to d theta divided by dt. And what you mean by angular acceleration? See, while a particle is moving in a straight line, you can check the or you can get the length and by divided by the meters. But while the object is in a rotational motion, particularly if it has a circular motion, then this distance traveled is measured by the angles. That means the angular velocity and the angular acceleration into action. And this angular acceleration is measured by alpha. The rate of change of angular velocity is called angular acceleration, which is alpha is equal to d omega vector divided by dt. The angular acceleration is also a vector quantity which need not be in same direction as angular velocity. Let's move to the tangential acceleration. Consider an object moving along a circle of radius r. In a time del t, the object travels a distance del s, which is displacement, as shown in the figure. The corresponding angle subtended is del theta. Now, the del s can be written in terms of del theta. That means the displacement is referred here as del theta. Therefore, del s is equal to r into del theta, which is multiplied by the radius it covers, and which is termed as the equation number 1. In a time del t, we have del s by del t is equal to r into del theta by t, which means we divide the displacement by time to find the velocity. So, in the velocity is r into del theta by del t, which is termed as the equation number 2. Since the limit del t to 0, the above equation becomes ds by dt into r omega. Here we put del theta by del t into omega, which means the equation number 3. Here ds by dt is the linear speed, that means velocity, which is tangential to the circle, and omega is the angular speed. So the equation number 3 becomes, which gives the relation between linear speed and angular speed. So v is equal to r into omega. We put this as a equation number 4. And the equation 4 is true only for circular motion. In general, the relation between linear and angular velocity is given by v vector is equal to omega vector into r vector. For circular motion, the equation 5 reduces to equation 4 since omega vector and r vector are perpendicular to each other, and while differentiating the equation 4, okay, if you differentiate the equation 4 with respect to time, we get, which is r is constant here, so dv dt divided by is equal to r d omega divided by dt, or we get r into alpha. Instead of d omega divided by dt, we get alpha. dv by dt is the tangential acceleration and is denoted as t, and at d omega by dt is the angular acceleration of alpha. Then the equation 5 becomes at is equal to r alpha. The tangential acceleration experienced by an object is circular. Now, the expression for centripetal acceleration. You all know about the centripetal accelerations in your lower classes. Let's take that centripetal acceleration. When a body is in uniform circular motion, its speed remains constant, but the velocity changes continuously due to the change in direction. Hence, the motion is accelerated here in this centripetal acceleration. If you see this, it revolves around the circle, the radius changes from r1 to r2, and the velocity also moves. The body undergoing uniform circular motion is acted upon by acceleration, which is directed along the radius towards the center of the circular path. This acceleration is called centripetal acceleration. Now, let us see the expression by point by point. The centripetal acceleration is derived from a simple geometrical relation between the position and the velocity of vectors. So, let the direction of the position and the velocity vectors shift through the same angle theta in a small interval of time del t. That means we take this displacement by the time del t. While taking that, for a circular motion, r is equal to r1 modulus, which is equal to r2 modulus vector, and v is equal to v1 modulus vector, which is equal to v2 modulus vector. If the particle moves from position vector r1 vector to r2 vector, the displacement is given by del r is equal to r2 minus r1. That means the radius finally minus the radius initial. Okay. The change in the velocity is v1 to v2, and which is given by the del v is equal to final velocity v2 minus the initial velocity v1. See, there is a change in velocity and the change in radius. And finally, we receive the del r vector and del v vector. The magnitudes of the displacement del r and del v satisfy the following relation. That means del r by r is equal to minus del v by v is equal to theta, which you can confirm here. Here the negative sign implies that del v points radially inward, while in the centripetal motion the ball or a particle moves towards the center. So the del v, which is the velocity, is radially inward and towards the center of the circle. So del v is equal to v into del r by r. Then acceleration is equal to del v by del t. As you know, acceleration divided by time, and v by r into del v by del t, which is equal to v square by r. So the uniform circular motion v is equal to omega into r, where omega is the angular velocity of the particle about the center. Then the centripetal acceleration can be written as a is equal to minus omega square into r. Now let's see the expression for total acceleration in the non-uniform circular motion. This is a non-uniform circular motion picture. Now consider a particle moving along a circular path of radius r with a variable speed v. As the speed of the particle changes, so the acceleration has a tangential component. So we put at is equal to dv by dt into r alpha, or at is equal to r into alpha, using this dv by dt as we know in the earlier equation of centripetal motion. As the direction of motion changes continuously, so the acceleration has a radial component. The centripetal acceleration is AC is equal to v square by r. The magnitude of this resultant acceleration is given by A capital R is equal to root of at square plus v square by r the whole bracket square. This resultant acceleration makes an angle theta with the radius vector as you saw in the figure. This angle is given by tan theta is equal to at divided by v square by r. Thank you students. Thank you for your support. Study well.